Hey guys, it's me Retro, and today we're gonna be talking about the modern versus classic debate. Of course, you already heard me talk about modern earlier, but now I have a close friend of mine who plays classic, who is the Normus, if you would like to introduce yourself.
What up, gang? It's your boy Normus, previously known as Normus Woody. Ho ho ho! Too hot for TV, that name. You can just call me Normus now, or NormousOn, which is my alt name. Good to talk to you, Retro.
All right, good to talk to you too. Before I get to the questions though, my mic is about to die, so I gotta change it real quick.
What a professional start!
I'm sorry. So, are you ready to start with the questions?
Yeah, let's get into it. Thanks for having me.
No problem, no problemo. Alright, so let's see. Question number one. In your opinion, what makes classic controls more enjoyable for you, and why do you choose them over modern?
Oh, that's pretty good. So part of it is just force of habit. I've always played classic. I actually, little known fact, I did try out modern quite a bit. It's
Hmm.
quite confusing to come from classic and then suddenly being a modern player. It's quite jarring. It's like you're not really playing the same game
Hmm.
for one, so it's a little bit uncomfortable for one. That was my first reason that I kind of stick with classic.
Okay.
Um, and then on top of that, like I guess there are a few things that are a little bit scary about using modern. On the other hand, there's like I don't know a lot of there's probably more than what I'm about to tell you, but damage scaling is higher, and what was really shocking to me is like some moves are just not accessible, which I think is crazy. Unless a character has moves that are put into the game that are completely useless, I think that's going to put you at a disadvantage. But um, I just feel I have more control over my character, and I also don't think. I think a lot of modern players they get gifted reactions,
Okay.
and that's like it forces you to play defensively, and I am not a defensive player, so personally. I don't think being offensive works for me with the modern setup. It just doesn't work for me. Yeah, that's kind of like the quick version. I could expand on some of these points, but yeah, to sum up, I think it's like it's uncomfortable to transition. It's like you're playing a totally different game. I don't like some of the nerfs you get,
Okay.
and my final point. What was it again? Holy Moses! I gotta remember what I'm saying. Um, as an aggressive player, I just think modern kind of pigeonholes you to be a little bit too defensive, so that doesn't work for me.
Of course. So,
Mm.
to expand, you said it gifts them in some areas. Do you mean like anti-airs, of course, with combos
Yeah.
and stuff like that. So basically, what I mean is, how do you feel about stuff like auto combos, basically, when it comes to those gifted inputs?
Well, I think auto combos are they kind of put you at a disadvantage because you're never doing the absolutely optimal combo.
Hmm.
And it seems really small at first because you're probably, I don't know, missing somewhere like 15% damage, and that doesn't sound huge, but if you're playing like thousands of games and every time you land a combo, you're doing 50% less damage, that's going to contribute to your success in Street Fighter. So, um, yeah, I think auto combos, they're never the most optimal combos. It's just ease of use, basically. That's what an auto
Hmm.
combo is. So, sometimes I'll see a modern player who's like in platinum, and he'll do like a combo that looks pretty sick. I was like, how's a plat player pulling off that combo? I'm like, oh, it's modern. Okay, fair enough. And I didn't actually. I think you told me about auto combos. I was like, what? That's a thing? Because
Yeah.
I only play a modern Zangief, and so he's only the modern. How can I say the auto combos I use are very short because he's not a combo character, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, I think auto combos put modern players at a disadvantage because you're never doing the optimal combo. So it's very beginner friendly, which is one aspect of modern that I'm actually very pro about the ease of use and friendliness. I actually do like that.
Hmm. To add on my opinion with the auto combos, like you said, they're very unoptimal. Like, especially Ken's heavy auto combo, the damage is shit to say the least. The
Mhm.
drive gauge it takes is crazy, dude. Like it takes 3 whole bars and it doesn't even equivalent with the damage. So
So
there's no
why
point.
does the auto combo require 3 bars? What does it do? Does it force you to dash
It
to drive
what it
forward?
does is his auto combo is heavy punch into 3 EX Gen Rise.
3 EX Jinrais. Why is that a thing? That
Uh,
sounds so weird.
um I don't know. It's just
Okay. Okay.
that's just how the avocado combo cookie crumbles, and so
Avocado combo. Yeah.
yeah.
Fair enough.
So then when you do it, it takes away 3 bars, and then of course because of modern, the game knows you're using an auto combo, and then it uses the 20% damage scaling on that bitch. So
Okay.
and so now you just have crappy damage, and you get more of your drive meter
New
taken
burning
away.
bar. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty bad. Okay. Fair enough.
So the only one that I find truthfully useful is Ken's medium, because he does double medium punch and a dragon lash, which is amazing. I use that myself to this day. Anytime you see medium punch and a dragon lash, that's a straight auto combo.
What
Because
standing medium punch?
yeah, standing medium punch.
So the target combo into Dragon Lash.
Of course, yeah.
Why wouldn't you just do that? That's not a hard input.
It's not. It's just that I can just do it with one button.
Okay,
And
fair enough.
and then I did it on with the manual inputs, and the damage reduction is like maybe 100. So
Okay.
so I really don't see a purpose to doing it, and
hmm
it sets me up to let me do all of my supers, or I can just do heavy Shoryuken. So, you know.
Fair enough. Yeah. Well, I guess the order combo that I thought was useful with Zangief was he does a standing light kick into Lariat, which I think is pretty crazy good because you just walk forward and you keep hammering that order combo, and if it hits, it hits, and if you whiff, nothing happens. So yeah, I can see like some practicality to it. I think it's like pretty funny though. It's like very baby's first combo style with Zangief.
When it comes to Zangief, I mean, I see everyone joking around with their modern Zangief. Like Justin Wong
Mm.
has a modern Zangief.
Yeah.
Like, but when you see a classic Zangief on ranked, you get scared
Yeah.
because
Because that guy's taking the character seriously. He's not here to play. He's here to rank up, baby. And
one
so yeah,
hit you with that one Zangief level 3, you're cooked. But
yeah. That's pretty good. But I remember like back in the day, you would see someone like Snake Eyes. He would do that shit, the modern shit on classic. He would walk forward. He would do it walk forward standing SPD, and it's like he's not even buffering. How did he do that shit? I still don't know what the secret was, but he used to just walk forward, and SPD like he didn't buffer it. No move came out. How did he do that? So yeah. I think like to be able to, everyone can now do the godlike things that Snake Eyes was doing in Street Fighter 4. I think that's pretty hilarious
I,
and dirty.
all right. Well, this kind of adds to your point earlier, how you said that you like how modern helps out newer players.
hmm
So, let's say you have a friend. Do you think you would tell them to start with modern or classic controls?
Oh, that's really good. If they have never played a fighting game before, I would probably recommend that they start with modern, but don't confine himself to modern or herself. I'm not saying so, but
Okay,
like
alright.
that way you can kind of see the difference. They're probably going to end up liking modern a lot more because they're going to be winning more.
Mhm.
But I think they should do both. So like if someone was getting into Street Fighter, I'd say yeah, pick modern for a character and choose your second character to play classic. And don't have them both like Shotos. Have them like different style of characters. So
Mhm.
if like I still think even though the how can I call it, the learning curve for Street Fighter is so low compared to old games now, even with classic, modern just totally destroys the learning curve of Street Fighter. So that's a good experience, and I want that person to like the game that they're playing. So yeah, if they've never touched a fighting game before, I think it's fine. But I would tell them like, but also have a classic. Because if you end up liking Street Fighter really long term, I think you are, unless there's a character that's just has some godlike stuff on modern that supersedes what you can do in classic. I think a long-term player is handicapped by using modern if they're going pro. So, but at the beginning level, it doesn't matter because I just want my friend to enjoy the game. So,
Of course.
yeah, I'd say jump in with modern, and then yeah, just keep an open mind for classic because if you play this game over many years, you're not handicapped with classic.
To add on to what you said, besides Zangief, what characters do you think benefit from being on modern?
The other one that I heard is really nice on modern is Chun-Li, or Chun-Li, as us Westerners would call her. I heard there's some really nice reactive stuff you can do with her, which is really crazy. Because, you know, she is the big fat normal character, and some of her stuff, I mean, I don't know all the ins and outs, but a lot of people think that it's possible that modern Chun-Li can do stuff that makes up for that handicap of the damage scaling and like the other non-optimized auto combos. I mean, like, you can still do the classic combos, right? But like there's moves missing and stuff, but apparently, like, I don't know what it is specifically, but I've heard Chun-Li is really good on modern, so yeah. I remember when the game came out, Justin Wong was trying to tell everyone that modern Ryu is a menace.
I still think he is.
Really? Okay, yeah. I don't know the details because I'm not a modern player, but like some people were like, "That's ridiculous." Like he's got some stuff, but yeah. I don't know because I mean, think about it. The game is fundamentally like Ryu is your Shoto, and so if he can do everything, like there was something with a fire. I don't know. I'd have to look it up, but. To answer your question, everyone, like a lot of people have a pocket modern Zangief. I have heard a lot of people vouch for Chun-Li, but Ryu, I don't know if that's confirmed or not. That a modern Ryu has something that's good to him. So yeah.
I have something I want to add to the modern Chun-Li, but it relates to one of my questions for later, so I'll save it for then.
Cool. Alrighty.
So, for our next one, we have, do you think modern will have a future in Street Fighter in the community and in tournament?
Good question. I mean, we have seen some modern players in tournament at a very high level, but they're very rare, far and few between. So I think that question is like, I think it will become more prevalent and common than it is right now, but I don't think it's ever going to reach like a 50-50. I don't think it'll ever reach there because just options are taken away from you at a high level, and you need every option at your fingertips if you are like playing this game at a pro level. So I think it will grow more than it is right now. Absolutely. I don't think anyone has demonstrated like a single character can do crazy shit with modern, which makes up for, you know, the parts that are taken away from that character. But yeah, I think we'll see it more at a high level, but I don't think it's ever going to be, you know, a fair split of like we're going to have half modern players and half classic. I don't think that's going to happen.
I wish.
I mean, when we're talking about like, are we going to see it? I mean, there are a lot of modern players out there, but I think like pro players they don't like what's taken away. And someone's gonna solve the algorithm at some point. They're gonna find the formula. Like, I found something this character can do that's crazy. But that's gonna be still very niche because not everyone is thinking what that guy's thinking. So, yeah, and obviously, like think about it. One of the reasons why we have such a huge player count in Street Fighter 6 is because it is more accessible, and a big part of that, aside from the mechanics, is modern itself. So, yeah. I think it will grow, but I don't think we're gonna see it as something that's absolutely huge and like there's a ton of pros playing modern. I don't think that will happen.
from what I wanted to mention earlier that I said I was gonna say, this is the question.
Mhm.
Um, I'm sorry if I mispronounced this, but Hatani was
Mhm.
the first and only person to ever get to top 6 at a major using modern, and funnily enough, he was
Yeah,
playing with a modern Chun-Li. So,
that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, so I didn't know it was Haitani, but that's interesting. So, yeah, good for Haitani. I know Haitani from being a Makoto player
mhm.
in Street
Ooh,
Fighter 4. Very high level,
ooh,
even a finalist with Makoto. So there are certain players like Haitani and Nemo that just really think outside of the box, which is why I love, like, who gets to Evo top 8 with Makoto, man? Nobody. But that's, I think like Haitani is always working on like what tech can I discover that others have no idea about, and I'll overwhelm them. So that's pretty cool. Yeah. So I knew there was a Chun-Li player that placed really good. I didn't know it was Haitani.
I'm just, I mean, if he got there, then I wouldn't be surprised if more characters like Ryu, Ken, like get up there because you might disagree. I really do think Ryu on modern is absolutely crazy
Mm.
because he has all of his Hadoukens at the ready. He has all of the Shoryukens and stuff like
Oh,
that.
did you know
So
this? That once upon a time there was a mechanical difference, and it was actually a bug in the game with Chun-Li being modern. It was something like her charge time for a fireball was less on modern. That's a real
mm,
thing. So I'm wondering if Haitani like that
abuse
was
that.
what. Yeah, maybe, and then I'm just gonna stick with modern Chun-Li because I like him. But yeah, I don't know. Like you'd have to really convince me that characters like Ryu have something better. With Chun-Li, I can imagine it, but I can't really with Ryu. That's interesting. Like, what can he do better on modern that can't be done? I mean, like fireball inputs are pretty lenient. You'd have the best DP at your fingertips, one button, but I don't know. I just can't see it yet.
I guess. I mean, people will argue, of course, well, with modern and Ryu, you have better reactions and stuff like that, but
Mm.
I truthfully believe if you sit there and you grind out classic, like people like Punk, they can sit there and just do classic inputs as fast as you can do modern inputs. So
Yeah, sure.
it's not about being fast or
That,
anything like
that's
that.
I don't know if that's entirely true because like you still require 4 inputs for a DP, and you only need 1 input for a DP on modern. So while it probably appears to be the same, there's still there's going to be a few frames different in
Hmm.
there, right? It's going to
Yeah.
be very minuscule, and it depends if the player himself is comfortable with that few frames difference.
So, speaking of which, do you think Street Fighter 7 will just be like entirely modern, or do you think they'll still have that classic in
Whoa,
there?
that's a good question. I've thought about this because every Street Fighter has been more friendly, right? Like the
Hmm.
learning curve has been dropping every Street Fighter. Like even Street Fighter 4, the one that I spent most of my time with. Like the gap between that and Third Strike, it's day and night. And then Street Fighter 5, it wasn't as wide of a gap of like user friendliness as 3 and 4 was. But we started to see that trend of like things being easier, inputs being easier. Like if you want your games to go mainstream, they have to be easier, right? And I think this is one of the things I really like about like I'm the minority in this mindset. Like usually like classic players like myself, they hate modern. They really do. But I don't, because now I have more people than ever to play against. And if I lost to a modern guy in the tournament, I might be a little bit pissed off because like you got to react to that in one button bullshit. Like I might be frustrated, but at the same time, there's more benefits to me as a player. I get to play with more people, and having played Street Fighter 4 for like way too long, and having no one to play against, I like more people to play against. So, but yeah, sorry. What was your question? Was about will Street Fighter 7 be pure modern? Nah. But I actually have a theory. I think it's gonna be the opposite, man. I think that Street Fighter 6 is so friendly that Capcom is eventually going to see, okay, that gets players in the door, but they're going to make something different that's not modern. They're going to find another way to get a lot of new players in the door.
Dynamic.
But they are going to cap modern in the next game, in my opinion, in terms of how far it gets you in the game. I think they're going to cap it. I think they're going to go the opposite way. Because if fighting games get any easier than they are right now, I think they might start to become unappealing.
Okay.
Because Street Fighter 6 is 100% the easiest fighting game I've ever played in my life. And I'm not saying that really entirely is a bad thing. It's very fun, and I love playing this game. I'm actually, I like Street Fighter 6 a lot.
Yeah, we all do.
A lot of the classic heads don't like it as much, and they shit on it a lot. But I like it. I think it's fine. Like, it's a little bit vanilla at times, because a lot of, like, the mechanics of this game override the uniqueness of the individual character, which I think is a big demerit. But again, like, this is the first time Capcom has really gone for that mainstream appeal. So I actually think it's going to be pulled back. The practicality, the ease of use I think the next generation will actually go a little bit back to, like, fighting games being challenging, but they're still going to include something like modern or a similar mechanic to get people in the door. But I think the ceiling will be a lot lower in terms of what you can do with it. I think this is a very good experiment. I was going to say Samsung. This has been a very good experiment that Capcom has put forward, but I think it's going to go backwards. I think it's going to go the other way. So, that is my hot scoop, or my own opinion on the situation. Yeah.
Well, to branch out from Street Fighter for a second, the modern infection that has also spread to games like Tekken and the new Fatal Fury City of the Wolves, which was literally sponsored as, hey, we're like Street Fighter and we have modern controls. And then
I don't think it's that bad in Tekken. Like, I have a decent amount of time with Tekken, and I don't think it's as bad. That is a way easier Tekken than it used to be, but it's way more apparent in Street Fighter compared to Tekken.
I mean, the fact that you can switch from modern to classic mid-match in Tekken 8, even in, like, ranked, is crazy to me.
Yeah, but the how can I say, the advantage that it gives to you is nowhere near as good as the advantage that playing modern does in Street Fighter. I mean, I think switching is not even that like big of a thing. It's just not that much of an advantage, you know. I like the characters I used to play, I'd say like, oh, how does this character play modern? And I don't even know. It's probably not called modern, right? But I thought
it's called special controls.
Yeah, special controls. But and also, isn't it limited? Like, there's only a few things that are shortcutted when you go into that special mode.
I think they let you do, like, well, whatever the Tekken 8 like focus attack thing. They let you do that with one button, and they let you do like one combo string.
Well, let me put it another way. If you can do a bunch of moves instantly in special mode, whatever it's called, that sounds really good. But in Street Fighter, you have less than 20 moves for every character, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that means, like, being able to mechanically change your character with a lower moveset, so much more of the game is handed to you. But in Tekken, characters have like 100 moves in that game.
Yeah.
But you are able to now shortcut what, like 5 of them, 6 of them, 7 of them? It's like, it's not a real advantage.
Of course.
Yeah. It's not 2 cents on it.
Then again, I can't say I'm that knowledgeable on Tekken 8 as a whole. So
yeah, I mean, I was a big Tekken player, actually. That was the first game the second game I played competitively, where I'd go to tournaments and stuff. And so I have blissfully converted from 3D to 2D, and the game still feels quite nice, but people are getting to a level where they're not liking the easier mechanics, and they're not complaining about the special mode. they're complaining about like comeback mechanics, how you can have like armor on certain things, and the rage bar. I don't think it's called the rage bar anymore. That's like Tekken 6. But like, people are hating Tekken 8. The people that are, I think a lot of people like it, but the people that are disliking that game, it's not for the special mode. It's for the other mechanics in that game that make it easier. So yeah.
I mean, now that you mention it, I don't really hear anything about special mode, like ever. It's always it's always just a whole bunch of other things. And,
it's
and
the rage mechanics and the rush mechanic. I don't know what it's called, but like apparently it forces characters into a 50-50 split. People started to complain about that stuff at the end of Street Fighter 4. Where like it's just a game to get your revenge bar up, the ultra bar as it was called back then, right? Like that's not an honest fighting game. So I think that's what's going on. I could be incorrect, but I think that's what people are complaining about right now in Tekken 8.
So to our next question, which is a little rumor that I'd like your opinion on. So there is talk of Capcom adding a setting in ranked that people can select to only fight classic or modern.
Really? Okay.
So, how do you feel about that?
Nah, I don't want that. I mean, like, you should always give the player choice, and the haters have no reason to hate anymore. But no, I think overall that's not a good thing. I don't think that's a good thing.
I think it's retarded, but
yeah, as I already said, like I like that I have more of a player pool, like people to play against, right? And I understand the disdain for modern, I really do, but at the same time, we are now like playing potentially the most popular concurrent player base ever in a fighting game. I think we should enjoy that, man. And if you are losing to a modern player, then just get good, bro. Because, you know, they're given shortcuts, but you have the potential to skill up and beat that modern player, right? And, yeah, man, like, filtering people out, I don't think it does. It's going to appease a lot of people, but I think it's going to do more bad than good. You know, those modern players will be unable to, like, meet as many players. It would be weird, actually. Think about this. It would be weird if I want modern players only. Who the fuck would be doing that? That would be so bizarre.
Like, I just think it ruins your skill. Because in tournament, it's not just going to be classic players. You're going to probably see a modern here or there. It's going to be rare. It's going to be rare, but it's definitely could happen. And then when you fight them, you're going to be too busy, like, you're going to be too busy, you know, because you fought classic players the whole time. And then when they start hitting you with them instant DPs and shit, you're going to be like, God damn.
Right.
So.
Do you remember when we first played because of Wambo? And I think it was a first to 3 or a first to 5. I don't remember.
It was a first to 10.
Was it? Okay.
You got 10 and I got 9. We went to last round.
I have a very different memory of that. No, I think that was after. That was not the thing that was on stream, because Wambo always wants to keep going. I think we did a first to 10 after. Definitely. No, I remember now. Oh, your memory is a little bit. Yeah. But when we initially met, we did a first to 3. I think this is what happened. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Okay. And you went 2-0 up on me, right? I remember that. I was like, oh shit! Like, I didn't expect. I don't see that many good modern players, right? And then
thank you.
Yeah. And then when I started playing, I came back, right? I won game 1, 2, 3, and I think the ability to come back, like, yeah, you will have shortcuts, but you're not invincible. You're not given God mode when you play modern. And so you, as a classic player, can work it out, man. And so, yeah, I don't think we should, like, segregate modern players and classic players. It's bizarre as fuck. Just, like, play everyone, man. You got more people to play against. Don't do that. That would be weird if they did that. I don't know. I haven't heard that rumor, but if that's the case, I think that's a bizarre choice on Capcom's side.
I saw it somewhere on the Street Fighter Reddit. and I really wanted to put this in here because I don't it didn't make me mad. It made me more like I really pray that they don't put that in there because if they do,
Mm.
I'm fucked. Because I'm not gonna be able to fight anybody on
It
ranked.
only really benefits classic players that are hateful of modern controls. So that's a very niche thing. Um, but yeah, I don't think it's good.
All right, so for my last one, which was kind of targeted to the person that I wanted to do before you, but
Sure. Your first choice?
my
That's fine, bro.
my friend, look, he was very adamant about these classic controls,
Hmm.
but it was. Would you say that you hate or are annoyed by modern controls? And if so, do you see players that do use them as lazy and not real players? So you could probably take out the
Ooh.
hate or annoyed, but I would like you to answer, do you
I can
see?
still answer that question. I don't mind. Yeah. So I think I'm in the minority of people that have been playing Street Fighter as long as I have been playing that don't mind modern controls. Does it annoy me? Yeah, it really does sometimes. It like sometimes. Okay, so there's a certain scenario. I'll give you a very specific scenario. There'll be a scenario when a modern player has me in the corner, and I just want a neutral jump, right? And when I neutral jump, they whiff their grab and they can DP. But modern and classic can both do that, but modern players have bridged that skill gap so easily by having a one button DP. That to me that shits me to tears sometimes. However, I know I can still just get good, but the fact that is a highly skilled thing to do on classic and that it can be done one button, that annoys me. That does annoy me. But at the same time, I feel that I know where modern players, they have certain trends because of the layout of modern that I think I can work out. So while it does annoy me, 100% I do not hate it as a control scheme, because I don't think minor annoyances come to me in other aspects of the game besides a modern player. You know, there are definitely other aspects of mechanically of Street Fighter 6 that frustrate me more than the fact that you've bridged this skill gap very, very easily. What was the second part of your question? Sorry.
The second part was, do you see modern players as lazy or not real players?
Oh,
I've been told
that's
that many
interesting.
times in my career.
Well, you fight a game career.
Yeah, sure.
Your very long 1.5 year career. Well, okay, so
Literally 1.5, I think.
they are playing a different game, but they're still playing Street Fighter. Because my philosophy is, if it's in the game, it's fair game. It's in the game, right?
Yeah.
So that's fine. That's no different from me having, Alina healing or an OP Vanilla Sagat from Street Fighter 4. Like, it's in the game.
Mhm.
So if it's there, we just have to deal with it, and that's it. So, like, they're still Street Fighter players, without a doubt, man. They're just playing the game a little bit differently, or a lot differently by some people's standards. It's like someone playing on keyboard, and they can do shit faster than me. Well, they have to do that, and they've set limitations. They can do some things better than me, but people playing on hitbox is another example, right?
Of course.
Like, nah, man. It's like we're all playing Street Fighter at the end of the day. In fact, I feel sorry for you guys sometimes, bro, because you're missing moves that are so nice and juicy.
Like
So,
light punch.
that is crazy. No, isn't it crouching light kick that you can't do, right? With
No.
Ken?
I can't do crouching light punch with Ken. I can do crouching light kick.
Okay, so let me give you a question. I'll turn this back on you and ask you a question.
Ooh, okay.
If you, let's say you wanted to throw loop someone and you throw them, you can throw, you can overhead, you can do a low attack. What does that low attack, the crouching light kick, combo into?
Oof. I mean, I mean, I could drive rush off of it and go into a grab, but I think that's pretty much all I
Right.
can really
Let's
do with
say you
it.
want to do a basic bread and butter combo. You're sure you can do a crouching light kick?
Okay.
Like, you can?
Yeah, I
100%?
can.
You can do a crouching light kick?
I can 100%, yes.
I guess I just haven't seen you do it much, because the classic rock, paper, scissors of the corner is, what is it? It's grab, low, meaty. Those are the three things that you can do once you throw someone in the corner, right? And you think you can do... everyone can do a meaty, but you can do the low... You can do a crouching light kick in the corner when you throw me? I don't know if that's a thing or not. You seem pretty sure that you can do that, right?
I mean, I could do a crouching, like, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I thought we had this conversation, and then like you are forced to do a crouching medium kick, but you cannot do a crouching light kick. So maybe I'm getting misguided on
what
this.
I meant to say was, like, let me rephrase this. I can do crouching light punch, but I need to do crouch light kick beforehand. So if I crouch and then press light, I have to go
actually,
crouch low.
for another reason that's also huge, that you cannot do a crouching light punch. Because there's a problem with light punch in this game. You can delay light punches in this game and get massive damage off it. JP is a great example, right? I can do ultra off a light punch. So yeah, okay. So it kind of completes my point, but in a way that I didn't expect it. Like, to be missing something like a fourth option is really huge. You know, in certain tight situations, if an option is just taken away from you, then you have less variety in the way that you can approach a situation, right? It's like, okay, we're gonna play a game of cards, but you're not allowed to use kings, right? It sounds like it's not a huge thing, because that is less than 10% of the deck. If I take away kings, it's less than 10%. But still, you're playing with a disadvantage. And if we're playing 1,000 matches, and we have the same skill level, you're gonna come out behind 100%. So yeah, that's interesting. That is my strongest reason as to why I wouldn't play modern if I'm playing this game long term.
So, to cap it all off, was there anything bad that you can say about classic controls that you just that you just don't like? That you
if anything, classic has become so much easier than it has been in the past. Like, you think like modern makes the game easier? Classic is now easier than it's ever been before. The inputs are so lenient, but there is something weird in Street Fighter 6 Classic where buffered moves don't come out, and I haven't gotten to the bottom of it. Like, in previous games, even though the controls were harder, buffered moves always came out in previous games, and I don't know why they don't come out in Street Fighter 6. So that's probably my only issue with classic controls. Like, why are my buffered moves not coming out? Like King of Fighters, for example, right? There are some classic movements that are really fucked up. And for anyone that plays King of Fighters, there's Geese Howard has a super attack called Raging Storm, and it's really fucked up. It's like quarter circle back, down forward, quarter circle forward, down forward, half circle back. It's something fucking bizarre.
What?
Yeah, it's like one of the most fucked up inputs for a super in a fighting game that I've ever seen. It's a really good move. It's like basically like a think about what's his name? Fucking Terry, and how he does the ground stomp ultra. I forget what it's called.
Power guy.
Are you okay? Buster Wolf, right? Yeah, power geyser. But imagine if it's twice the size, but it's behind you as well. So that's what the move is. And the input is so hard on classic controls. But none of those inputs exist in Street Fighter 6. Like, the really messed up. I don't even think there's that many half circle moves in this game now, right? So yeah, man, I think like classic has gotten easier. I don't have any real complaints with it, except that sometimes my buffered moves don't come out, and I don't know why not.
I mean, I've always heard that this game is a little bit...
I got one more. I think I have a really, really good answer for this as well. Something that is fucked up about classic versus modern. if I'm in a situation where you drive rush at me, right? And you know there's that thing where like drive rush eats your input sometimes when your
Yeah,
opponent drive rushes at you.
of course.
Because you have more inputs to do in classic, there's a higher chance that your inputs will get eaten. Right?
Okay.
So that doesn't happen to me a lot, to be honest with you, but it definitely has happened to me. I think the buffered moves not coming out is larger, but that's my second complaint. I'm at a disadvantage because it's higher. It's more likely that my more complex classic movement will be eaten if you drive rush at me. Again, it's not a big thing, and I don't really whinge about that. But you did ask me the question, so there you
So
go.
I
got
mean,
two.
I do expect a pretty good answer, and that was the best answer that I could ask for. All of
There you
your
go.
answers were great, but
Thanks, man.
that's all the questions that I have. I thank you so much for agreeing to do this with me. You could have easily just said no, but yeah, you were.
But I'm not a
super-
dick, so there you go.
But yeah, again, thank you for joining me. So and
Alright guys, if you listen this far, thank you very much for listening
Thank
to
you,
this
thank you very
sexy,
much.
silky voice, and Retro is your go-to man for Street Fighter news and discussion.
ooh, thank you for that little shout out, bro. Got me a little bit gassed up.